Hey, good morning, y'all. Or afternoon, whatever time of day you're watching this video. This is Jeremy Godin over here at jeremygodin.com, reviewing the most common sense phone sales techniques, coaching, and discussion to help us all close the deal better. Today I want to talk about listening while selling. So often out on the sales floor, I'll walk by a desk, and I'll hear someone on the phone, and they're almost to the point where they're being really cocky, that salesman cocky on the phone with a customer, and they're talking more about the product or service we're selling or themselves or our company more than they're talking or asking questions with the customer or the potential customer that they got there on the phone. So one thing I want to learn today or talk about today is just how to step back, take a second, and listen. And, one of the biggest pet peeves I find in phone sales is not giving your customers pause or tending to interrupt them during a call. So you might have a customer that's, you ask them a question and they're giving you the answer, and before they even finish, you almost try to outthink them, and you're right there with a quick answer. And a lot of folks in sales think that quick answer is what it's all about. Well, it is, but it's going to be methodical, and one thing I like to do is when a customer says something, I like to give myself a little pause. Sometimes I'll bite on my tongue a little bit if I find myself in the habit of cutting somebody off. But I want to give a little natural pause before when a customer finishes speaking and when I start my answer or my rebuttal, whatever I'm dealing with. But I want to give that natural pause so that it doesn't seem overwhelming. One other thing I want to do during this process, I want to ask our customer a lot of questions. I want to know, what they got going on. I want to know what their needs are. And I know that sounds corny, and it doesn't have to be that direct and that in depth and that emotional. But you need to have some sort of connection with your customer and why they need that product or service that you're selling today. I'm sorry to hear your roof is leaking. I look forward to getting out to meet with you so we can get you the best estimate and get you dried in. I know you got family coming into town in a couple weeks. That's great about your new job in Idaho. I look forward to the opportunity to work with you on moving into your new home out in Idaho. And notice how I didn't say selling your current home. As a realtor, I have no intention of being in Idaho to help them buy a home. But I'm trying to remove the word selling from my vocabulary, and I'm trying to really listen to my clients' needs and their long-term goal. And in this case of selling their house here in Maine, I know the long-term goal is in Idaho, so I'm gonna focus on that goal. I'm not gonna say, I look forward to selling your house here in Maine and making a quick buck. Well, great. I look forward to helping you get relocated out to Idaho, because selling that home is part of the process of relocating to Idaho. And I might know some movers that I can recommend and a great cleaning company that can do the cleanup. So I'm going to help you with that process. I'm going to take items off your to-do list. And that's a great reference also for a customer is letting them know, hey, I want to take this off your to-do list. Hey, I want to get this crossed off your to-do list. A lot of organized, well thought out buyers tend to have to-do lists. So it's good to acknowledge that. It lets folks that use to-do lists that you're on a level playing field with them. And that's really good to know as well. So it's all about listening and making, common sense conversation, talking about things that are important to the customer. I'm not going to sit there and talk about our company and all their accolades and how much revenue we did last year and how many employees we have. I'm not going to talk about that unless my customer asks me. That's none of their business. They already know. Most likely they already know. They've reached out to me. Somehow that lead was generated back to your company or your organization to sell that product or service. So most likely they already know about your company. And today with the internet, it's so easy to research companies and look at reviews and where they are on social media. So I'm not going to blow up my company. I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about my stuff unless my customer asks me, unless my customer engages me with those questions. How big of a company are you? Great, I'm going to answer that. And tell me about, I asked them about their family. Like, oh, do you have kids? Yeah, I'm going to tell them about my children maybe at that point. Obviously, I'm not going to break into the conversation with I got a couple kids, but if a customer might mention that, and one of the children seems like they might be on age with one of my children, I'm going to mention that to get that connection with our client. The last thing I'm never going to do during this process of listening to my customer I'm never going to trash the competition. If a customer told me, hey, I talked to ABC Roofing Company, I talked to Tim this Realty, I just bought these vitamins online from so-and-so, I'm not going to bash them. I'm not going to get tied up in it. If you have to make sales by bashing other people, other organizations, other salespersons, other people out there doing the same thing you're doing for a different organization, if you're bashing the competition, you are not a salesman. If you get a sale from bashing the competition, that is no skill. There was no skill in that close. Focus on the sale. Focus on the customer's needs. Don't focus on the negativity. Just focus on what your company does better when asked. Focus on what your customers' needs are when told, and focus on asking good questions and giving good natural pauses between giving your answers and your rebuttals. This is Jeremy Godin over at jeremygodin.com, and as always, I appreciate you visiting with me today. Just stay tuned for some of my more video series on better phone sales technique. Don't know why I started right there, but I'm going to put it live anyway.